How's everybody doing today? Good? You guys have to wake up, right? All right, so a few things I want to talk about. One, I can't start any presentation till we talk about our company, so I'm going to start with that. I want to cover what transformation really means to us. What does it mean to be transformed? These are big words, NFV, virtualization. At the end of the day, it starts and ends with the customer, so I kind of want to talk you through that and take you through that journey. Then I want to kind of talk about what are some of the things we have to change. It's not just technology, what other things have to change to bring this whole journey of transformation along. And then finally, what's the benefit for us and what are some of the drivers? So a little bit about CenturyLink. CenturyLink is an 80-year-old company. Started in 1930s really with 5,000 lines and about $5,000. And over the last 10 years, it has really transformed. So our revenues went from hundreds of millions to 18 billion really over the last 10 years. So we went through a massive change. As we acquired companies, we acquired businesses, we had to transform the way we work and get rid of as much legacy as possible. Even with that, we are a legacy company with a heritage that we have to carry throughout this transformation. We are number 3 telco in the US today, and I'm sure most of you have heard that we've just announced the acquisition of Level 3, and with that, we will be the number 2 enterprise company in the world. Today, 60% of our revenues come from enterprise, 40% comes from consumer, and when the companies are combined, 75% of our revenue will come from the enterprise business. We have lots of fiber, great customers, but this is an environment where everything is changing. Customer experience is changing. It's been driven by an Amazon-like buying experience, a Netflix-like viewing experience, and this is the same customer, may that be a consumer or a business, that's making decisions about their businesses, about their lives, and they expect nothing but much more innovation from us. And they want to interact with us in a digital way, and this transformation leads to that digital transformation for our end customers. But before we get there, we have to transform ourselves. So on the consumer side, we pass about 24, 25 million homes, about 6 million broadband subs, and that is also going through a major transformation. Because at the end of the day, it's the consumer that is making that decision for the business when we go and try to sell them any enterprise service. So I want to kind of step back and really view transformation from a customer's lens. So what does that mean for a customer, and what does that mean for us? That means creating efficiency in your business, whether it's for us, whether it's for our internal customers, whether it's for the external customers that we deal with. That means enhancing your top line, reducing your bottom, your cost, and enhancing your bottom line. Take all complexity out of the business. That's kind of what Steve was alluding to earlier. We have to think about simplicity. This transformation should lead to a much better and simple experience for the customers. Second is innovation. Use technology as a lever to change. And if you can't change, you'll be obsolete. Third is disruption. Technology is a tool. It could be used to disrupt your business, others' business, and if you don't do it, somebody else will come do it for you. And those three key things are important for our own transformation. So for me, that means we are juggling a whole bunch of balls. We have to run an $18 billion business. We are really changing the engine of a plane mid-flight, and that is not an easy thing to do. It requires a lot of tenacity, agility, it requires a change of culture, and requires a completely different attitude. And Steve is absolutely right. Telcos are the 900-pound gorillas. They have a lot of baggage. Anyone you talk to, you'll talk about multiple OSS, BSS systems, multiple ways the customers can connect to us. We have to make sure we simplify all of that and more. So, what's important for me? I have to balance the need for efficiency, innovation, by keeping customer in front of us. We can't become as much efficient as we can while completely eroding the customer experience. At the same time, we cannot really forget about the digital disruption that's happening in our business, and we have to embrace this as much as we can. So these two things drive transformation and innovation journey for us. Remember this, right? So I looked at this phone, and we have a museum in Denver, this Museum of Telecommunications History. And last time I was there, I got to see how really this business has transformed. So there was a cable about this big. It had 15 or 16 fibers, and it will take 2 guys to really pick it up, and 2 really heavy-built guys. And we have a register that tracked the amount of money it cost to make phone calls. And there was a call that was made in 1932 from Denver to Sydney. And in today's dollar value, 3 minutes call cost about $900. So guess what? Over the last 50 years, we actually have gone through a transformation. Whether we like it or not, this business has transformed, and it's all for the best and good of the consumer, and they are the ones who are benefiting from this. Now, the story's not done yet, right? We still have a lot more work to do, and we still have to transform. And now this is the era of digital transformation. So what's really driving this digital transformation? So there's a chart that I picked up from somewhere that shows it's the power of microchip and innovation in silicon that's really behind all this transformation. So the first computer came in, I remember building my first 8086 machine in the 90s. It cost me about $5,000, and I couldn't do much. I could open a spreadsheet and maybe have a word processor. That's about it. By 2015, there was first computer that came out that was as powerful as a mouse's brain. By 2021, there'll be a computer out there that will be as much smarter or powerful as a human brain. By 2045, all compute power will completely overshadow the human power, brain power on this universe. So that is what's driving this disruption. So imagine that's happening at one end. At the second end, we have device proliferation that's on an exponential growth. By 2020, we'll have 4 billion people connected. They'll be driving 50 trillion gigabyte of data at any given point in time, 25 billion intelligent systems. Guess what happens? All this data has to go somewhere, and you need networks to connect that. So the networks have to become smarter, transform themselves to be able to handle this type of traffic. One example I'll give you, last year when I looked at our backbone capacity, we had 32 terabyte worth of capacity. I just looked at it for our board meeting last week, 53 terabyte, and it's growing. Guess where this traffic is coming from? It's all over the top traffic. And we are carrying all that without being able to monetize anything, right? So one, the customer is getting the benefit, but at the same time, they're not getting the full experience. Somebody said earlier, it's all about solutions. Yes, it is. You have to create solutions. We have to look deep into the data, try to figure out what we can do with that data, and make sure that we create solutions, either using digital transformation, software, the new generations of OSS, BSSs, or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's all about simplicity. And it starts with simplifying your product portfolio. As we went through our own journey, we bought a whole bunch of companies, and the number of products, the number of SKUs went up exponentially. 2 years ago, we said, we got to step back, and let's simplify the customer experience. That means give them offers. Let's not make life much more complex for them. And from that, it went down to their experience, the way they deal with us, the way they buy services, try these services, pay their bills, the way we provision and activate their services. Everything is up for grabs. So I wanted to throw this chart to just make a point. When the winds change, some build walls around them, right? And those companies who build those walls, they don't innovate themselves. They try to be internally focused. They try to save cost. They stay away from the customers who are much more complex. They force what they want customers to hear towards the customers. And at the end, they end up losing. But others harness the power of wind. For us, it's all about harnessing this power. We have no other option but to be disruptive in this world and completely digitally disrupt our own business model. And that's what this innovation and transformation is all about. Network is a part of it, but the whole customer experience is going through a major transformation. But it is easily said than done, and it comes with a lot of hurdles. So what are some of the drivers for this transformation? What is driving this? We heard SDN, NFV, 5G, platform economy, AR, VR, robotics, automation. One thing that is common when I see it from a network lens, a lot more data coming our way. If we are a network company, we need to provide services to the customers, leveraging all these enablers. But we need to make sure that network is smart enough to handle the capacity that will be generated with all these enablers which are coming our way, and we have to transform our experience and pass that experience to our customers. At the end of the day, we are building a platform that will help customers completely innovate themselves. Again, we don't want to give an experience to the customer, say, go deal with this, because what we think is the right thing to do today will change in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. We have to build a platform, and we have to partner with others. We can't do everything ourselves. So what does this mean for CenturyLink? That means enhance your customer experience using robotics and automation. We're doing a tremendous amount of work in that space, and I'll talk a little bit about that. That means evolve from a hardware to a software model. 5 years ago, we acquired Savvis. We got access to all kind of network infrastructure, colo, cloud, managed services, but within 2 or 3 years, that got disrupted by Amazon and others. So we have seen what happens when you don't change, and we are embracing that now. Now, it gave us a platform that we could build upon. So we had a little bit of an advancement in this space, and we didn't have to start from scratch, so head start. But that helped us change the way we define network and design networks, and we've done quite a bit of work in SDN and NFV, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. The third one is migration to cloud. The whole industry is going through a major shift. Everyone is under the same pressure, which is get more efficient, enhance your bottom and top line. That means reduce your cost. And now this is a tremendous opportunity out there to partner with other providers and move your workloads to cloud using network as an underlying infrastructure. And then it's a data-driven world. We collect billions of bytes of data on an hourly basis, multiple petabytes of data. Only a small percentage of that data is used today for us in this industry to get better. So we have to harvest the power of data and use that to drive this innovation and this transformation in the network. So what do we need to do to get this going? We need a culture change. We need the right talent, because the talent of yesterday has to really transform and think about things differently. We need to change our customer experience. We absolutely need technology transformation, which is key. We need to have a platform approach. And whether we like it or not, we just don't have the luxury of time, so we got to be agile, fast and nimble, and connect everything through a network and make sure everything works end-to-end in a secure fashion. So what does cultural transformation mean to myself, right? So I tell my teams, always challenge the status quo. If you've done the same thing for the last 20 years, then something is wrong with that picture. Fail fast. Failure is an option. Failure is not a bad thing, but learn from that and move on. And then be fiscally responsible. Gone are the days where we took 3.5, 4 years to put a product out. Right now, the way we are building products is basically we have a couple of anchor customers. We sit in a room in an agile environment. We get their requirements, and we put minimum viable products out there. Now, it's not perfect, and we have a huge amount of people in our company and outside which are saying, what the hell are you doing? You're going to break operations. This is not going to work. But this is the only way for us to continue to move the ball forward. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. Talent transformation. In the past, we used to hire people based on their track record. Now, we are enforcing that we hire people based on their skill. Skills that will leverage their talent, and they'll be the change agent for future innovation. Extremely important to us. We were very operationally focused. We have to be customer focused. We have to drive and lead by innovation while maintaining the status quo. Not an easy thing to do. So from a customer perspective, we would create the experience and ask our customers to now, here's your experience, and this is how you should run your business. Customers will come in through multiple channels. They will use same or different services depending on the channels they came through in a completely different way. And we are trying to stitch everything together at the back end and trying to give them the bill and make sure they understand how they are consuming their services. And that's thing of the past. Now we have a single pane of glass. Customers will come in, they will see what they are consuming, they'll know what they pay for it. It's a single sign-on, federated infrastructure that allows them to buy services and consume them when they like, where they like, as they like. That is the customer experience that we need to create. The technology will continue to shift, but the experience has to be like Amazon, like Netflix, because that's what the customers are demanding today. And by the way, it's going to change. So from a CIO perspective, I said 60% of our revenue comes from enterprise. The same exact problems exist for our bigger customers. They're looking at this change. They're worried about disruption. They want to create efficiency in their own business model. They're worried about innovation. But they want to leave all this complexity to us. They demand a simple dashboard that tells them how their services are running. Are they getting the SLAs that they demanded? Are their services working? Are they able to consume services? Are they able to consume packages and pass them to their customers? Again, if we didn't have simplicity, if we didn't have a platform, if we didn't have a network, we wouldn't be able to do all that for them. On the network side, tremendous amount of transformation going on. So in the past, we used to build fixed networks. So now some of this will stay. And someone said earlier that, vendors are saying, well, things are not moving fast in this industry. They are slow. They are absolutely right, because we are all working with vendors to change the business model on how things work. Thank God to things like OCP and other projects, which has now given everybody an option to innovate themselves out of this issue. The cost structure is important, and you drive that through network simplicity and by owning certain things that you can be good at. Leave more complex stuff like a backbone router to the bigger vendors, because you can never replicate that. But when we have to go put out a CPE to provide an Ethernet, another piece of CPE device to add MPLS to it, an appliance to add security, the cost adds up. It takes multiple site visits, site service, multiple truck rolls. Now, we've changed that. We've taken a simple Celestica box, put our own BGP stack on top of that, added our services, we are orchestrating through a stack, and providing a services experience to our end customers. And it's all driven by policy in the cloud. So I as a service person can change the customer experience by a click of a button. And customer may have thousands of sites out there, and they will see that change within seconds. That wasn't the case yesterday. I will talk about SD-WAN. MPLS, it takes anywhere from 20 to 90 days to turn up an MPLS circuit. You can go out and talk to every service provider, because it takes that much time to dig the ground, put fiber in it, and all the legacy processes that you need to configure what the customer is looking for. Software-defined WAN, in some cases, the customer downloads a piece of software, they click, they build their own branch exchange, all within 5-10 minutes, right? So as long as they have an internet service, and it's much more secure, and it goes over an IPsec tunnel. So that is where this thing is going to change our cost structure. Using and leveraging this type of technology, we've been able to take our cost per 10 gig down from $1,200 per 10 gig to less than $200 per 10 gig on the CPE. I mean, huge change happening in this industry. But it comes with a price. The price is now our operations folks ask us, so how do I capacity manage this? How do I monitor this? Give me the guidelines. Write me those 5,000 documents that you used to write. And that's a cultural change I just talked about, right? The whole concept of EMS, OSS goes away with software-defined networking. You have a topology engine that goes out and self-discovers, self-managed, self-healing network, using big data and analytics, using OpenFlow as the data source. This is the world we are living in right now, and it's just going to change continuously going forward. But at the end of the day, all this opens up more options for bad guys to come in. So security is paramount. But we have a lot more data right now that helps us predict where the next DDoS attack is going to happen. That wasn't the case yesterday. So that is also changing, and it is helping providing a much better experience to the customers at the end. We are moving from fixed network to a programmable network, but that change will also take time. Remember, we have $18 billion of revenue sitting on a legacy infrastructure. That just can't go away. So this is a journey. It's going to take time, and will take a while to get there. And it all ends with this platform where we take Ethernet, MPLS, SDN NFV, cloud managed services, put it in a wrapper, connect it to multiple clouds, connect it to multiple networks, on top have the same UI experience, and allow our customers to build their own experience. That's what we are building, and this is what platform economy is all about. And it's all about agility. You have to continuously develop, define, integrate. It's not like, we waited 36 months and then put something out there and hope somebody will buy it. This was a continuous change, and this will continue to drive this industry going forward. So it's all about execution. A lot of stuff is happening. We're changing the engine of the plane mid-flight. If we don't execute well and if we don't work well with our partners, we will be a big failure. So we need to execute. And we need to work with others to get the right digital experience for the customers, reduce our cost, their cost, have better service to the customers, and go over the top in a much larger market using software in the cloud, using network as a mechanism that is virtualized, that's not running in the cloud, and it can run anywhere in the world. As long as it connects back to our MPLS network, we have that access. At the end, this is a journey. This is not one way of doing things. This is not a means to an end. It will continue to evolve.